Hello and welcome to AJA 7.
We are beginning with a breaking news story in which the original written pages of the famous play Oedipus Rex have been found and recovered in Greece. The play is written by Sophocles, a writer from as early as 497 BC, which emphasizes the importance of saving the pages that were found. Sophocles is one out of the three tragedy playwrights whose plays have survived the times. This play is taught, read, and analyzed in high schools all over the country, and displays political and religious themes relating to hubris and karma. People all over America are sharing their opinions on how the play and its themes are still relevant in today's society. Joel, what do you think about that?
Yeah, Alex, I think that the themes of Oedipus Rex are still relevant to the world today. The struggle that Oedipus and those around him faced is just like what is going on in Venezuela right now. 90% of the country lives in extreme poverty, according to the Washington Post, and their leaders still insist upon denying $60 million worth of foreign aid that could save the lives of people. This all started when Juan Guaido appointed himself interim president in May 2018. Much to the dismay of Nicolas Maduro and his political backers. Maduro still maintains control of the military and is capable of stopping humanitarian aid from Colombia by blocking the bridges with shipping containers and fencing. Because of the pride of Maduro, many people will die due to a lack of food, medicine, and other necessities. His pride will inevitably hurt all the people around him. This happened to Oedipus as well. In Sophocles' famous play, written in 429 BC, when Oedipus learns from Tiresias that he is the one who murdered Laius, he refuses the prophecy and goes as far as to threaten the prophet. Because of his pride and his actions, Jocasta both learns of the truth and inevitably kills herself. If he hadn't done this and had been so prideful, he could have avoided the pain of discovering the truth and could have spared his loved ones some of the pain. Because of his arrogance and ego, both his political career and family life have been ruined. This will also likely happen to Nicolas Maduro of Venezuela. He will likely lose political and social backing due to his refusal to do what is best for his people. He's been quoted as not wanting his people to become beggars, but how can he deny the basic needs of his people that his government is unable to provide? Pride as the downfall of leaders is the central idea of both of these stories. Because of this, it is very apparent that the themes within the novel are still relevant to our lives today and to what is going on in the world right now. We'll have more of this right after a short commercial break. Thank you. Welcome back. And now over to Amaya at the White House with more news.
Thank you, Joel. And now for another story as I report in front of the White House. Another instance in which Sophocles' message from Oedipus Rex stands as a lesson still relevant today can be found in recent coverage in the ongoing negotiations between President Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un. These two leaders have been working towards establishing a deal that will benefit both the United States and North Korea. Trump is pushing for Kim to denuclearize North Korea and to have reassurance that there are peaceful relations between them, while Kim wants to eradicate the economic sanctions placed against his country. Following their most recent summit that took place earlier this year, it appears that the leaders have yet to sign a deal, let alone make any progress towards some sort of agreement. Neither man is willing to give up what the other wants, and they cannot seem to find some common ground in order to make a compromise. Kim demonstrates his Oedipus-like hubris in his diplomatic relations with Trump, as he refuses to take initiative or even cooperate throughout this process. Kim is still waiting for Trump to make the first move, as he wants the United States to remove nearly all of the sanctions against North Korea. However, he is unwilling to match with equal efforts to denuclearize North Korea. Kim's actions further serve to show his pridefulness, as he authorized further weapons testing through launching missiles earlier this month. While these tests are not in any direct violation of the agreements made between Trump and Kim, the two have yet to establish a formal deal, and this represents Kim's lack of cooperation in this process. He deliberately continues to build his military forces, which could be seen as a potential threat to the United States. His lack of consideration for the United States' desires and promises made to Trump reveal Kim's sense of power and self-importance over others. He demonstrates similar qualities to those of Oedipus, which could lead to his ultimate undoing. Much like Oedipus, Kim stubbornly and arrogantly pays little attention to the warnings of others, like Trump in this instance. If Kim does not change his prideful ways, he will face a downfall as a result of his hamartia. His nation will suffer from his incapability to form beneficial relationships with other nations around the world, and his influence over North Korea will deteriorate. Kim could take a lesson from Sophocles, as he needs to humble himself in order to find common ground with potential allies such as the United States. We now go back to Joel and Alex in the studio.
Thank you, Maya. After a short commercial break, we'll be back with a story about Donald Trump.
The all-new Fiat 500L. More room, more possibilities.
Welcome back. As was said before the break, we're here with one last story about Donald Trump and his relations to the themes of Oedipus Rex. Trump's hubris is obvious in many things that he does each day and in the promises he made during his campaign compared to the reality of his first term. It's known that Trump takes a liking to sharing his personal views on social media. To quote him, a few of his recent tweets read, "Iran will call us if and when they are ever ready. In the meantime, their economy continues to collapse. Very sad for the Iranian people." Or, "Why are the Democrats not looking into all of the crimes committed by the crooked Hillary and the phony Russia investigation? They would get back their credibility. Jerry Nadler, Schiff would have a whole new future open to them. Perhaps they could even run for president." These tweets directly demonstrate Trump's hubris and overconfidence. Another example of overconfidence would be Trump's criticism of Obama's contribution to the national debt through his overuse of vacation money. However, he's on the same track as his predecessor. He has added $3 trillion to the already huge $19 trillion national debt when he promised to make it go down initially. His overconfidence and pride are bringing him to the opposite place of which he wanted to be in the first place. Something similar happened in Oedipus Rex. In the beginning, he promised his people to rid the kingdom of the plague put upon them by the gods by avenging his predecessor. At the end of the story, he turns out to be a murderer and leaves his kingdom with a government in absolute shambles, an effect of his overconfidence and hubris.
I think it's safe to say Oedipus Rex and its themes are definitely still relevant in today's society.
Aren't you glad you didn't miss out on this story?
It's been fun keeping up with the Kims.
And we hope we guided you enough to realize that.
Oedipus Rex really trumps all the others.
And that's all on today's newscast of AJA 7.
Do you want to do another?
However, he's on the same track as his predecessor. However, he's on the same track as his predecessor. Commercial break.
You didn't say thank you.
Yeah.
Already. In the meantime, their economy continues to collapse.
We're gonna restart. We're ready.
All right.
He did it on purpose.
Amaya, shut up.
Hey! No!
His relations to the themes of Oedipus Rex.
Amaya.
That was you!
That's not it! Oh!
Oh my gosh.
What? Joel, where is my White House?
know.
I'm just messing with you.
Go put some pants on.
Not putting pants on.
Put those pants on. They're right there.
Joel,
Yep.
I had a long day at work, and all I want to do is come home and be pantsless.
Oh, you want me to go?
Yeah.
Thanks, Amaya. And now after a short commercial break, we'll be right back with... What? No. Okay. Thanks, Amaya. And after a short break, we'll be right back. But no, that doesn't make sense. How do I...
Thank you, Maya. After a short commercial break, we'll be back with a story about Donald Trump. What? I was gonna finish.
Why is this impossible? Why is this impossible?
Break. We'll be back with a story about Donald Trump.
Is that going in the
Yeah.
mouth?
I'm just gonna zoom in. it.
No, wait. Oh my gosh, it's... No. I always want to hit the green one. I have to... Oh my gosh. Oh.